On Monday, right after the sales meeting, I flew to Las Vegas, met with Mike Ferry and 8 other brokers, managers from across the country. There's a meeting that Mike had called in, kind of wanted to find out where we were, what was happening in the marketplace, and to help us refocus for the balance of the year. It was a great meeting. It was excellent. You know, it's one of those things that sometimes you know what to do, you plan it, etc. But when you get with other like-minded people, it's a great feeling to to know that we're doing a lot of the things that we're supposed to be doing. So that's great. And then there was a few things that we need to add to it, a few reminders that we have to do. And one of them was taking everyone off a premise to do a business planning, time for business planning, looking toward the end of the year, kind of, if you will, creating some future pull. You know, when you're focused on the finish line, that's great, but sometimes we need to pull ourselves into the first quarter of next year and kind of get excited about that. Because the truth is, 2009 is upon us. So while I would have you write down 12/25/08, you know, I wouldn't do that today, okay? We're not going to look at 12/25/08. We're going to look at what's going to happen at the end of the first quarter of '09. So why don't you write down that what I do today, the activities that I do today, I probably won't be paid for until the first quarter of '09. Interesting, huh? Some of the activities that I do today, I probably won't get paid for until the first quarter of '09. So the question that Mike posed to us is, what are we going to do to help have the balance of '08 great, and then refocus us on what we need to do in '09? And one of the first things I wrote down here is, in stressful times, sometimes it's hard to concentrate and to continue on. So write that down. In stressful times, and would you agree that right now is kind of stressful times? Hello?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of stressful out there. I mean, we've got an election going on. And for some of you, your guy is winning, and for some of you, your guy isn't winning. For some of you, this measure is passing. For some of you, that measure isn't passing. You know, those are the issues that were going on. For some of us, our escrow is closing. For some of us, our escrow isn't closing. We're trying to figure out why not. We're trying to figure out the loan business. We're trying to figure out the stock market. Do not open up your statements this month. Do not. Okay, just don't. Put it away. You know what? You know what's interesting? It's, for the most part, most of you don't open your IRA statements, generally speaking, certainly on a monthly basis. We just, that's human nature, is to get it, put it aside, and we'll look at it a little bit later. My suggestion, but now there's human nature also. Well, let me look at this thing. I want to see how bad it is. Don't do it. Bring it to me. I'll hold them on to them. Okay, I'll just hold them for you. I'll put them in a locked safe. Okay, it's not going to be good. Honest. It's just the way it's going to be. Although December statement should look a lot better. All right, market's turning around, but that's all stressful. You know, you've been working, you've been putting money away, you've been doing all those kinds of things, you've been doing it right, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh. All the more reason why it's so important to do two things. A, when you're younger, put money away on a regular basis. And B, diversify. It's not all real estate, it's not all stocks, it's not all bonds, it's not all cash. You gotta be laying it out. I mean, you look at cash is king, right? Well, and putting your money in treasuries, the safest place you could put your money. It's below 1%. You don't even get 1% for putting your money in U.S. treasuries today, okay? Well, that's not quite enough to figure this thing out. So then you put it in a CD. Well, then you put it in a CD, certificate of deposit, in the bank. Well, is the bank okay? If it's not okay, then, you know, I'm okay up to $250,000. Well, maybe it is and maybe it isn't. And what about insurance companies? The new problem on the street. You want more stress?
No.
Okay? The insurance companies. You know, maybe they're solvent, maybe they're not solvent. You know, we put money in AIG, and maybe that was just the tip of the iceberg. So it's all kinds of things going on out there. Lots of stress, lots of craziness. In stressful times, sometimes it's hard to concentrate and continue on. However, what we have to do is write this down. We have to take some time for ourselves. We have to take some time for ourselves. We have to work on de-stressing ourselves every day. One of the things that I hugely recommend is that you turn off talk radio. I don't care which side you're listening to, just turn it off, okay? It isn't helping. Number one. Number two, stop reading the newspaper for the balance of the year. Don't read it. Any articles that you need to know about, I'll bring, okay? I promise, all right? Anything that works good for you in the marketplace, I'll bring to the marketplace, and so that you can know about it. So, I wrote down here, with less stress, you work better. With less stress, you work better. Look, we can worry about the insurance companies, and we can worry about the stock market, but there isn't anyone in this room that has any control of it. In fact, most of the United States has no control of it. I'm not even sure that the Senate and the Congress have control of it, okay? So what are we going to do worrying about it? All we can do is focus on what we need to focus in on, which is taking care of our clients and taking care of ourselves. All right? That makes sense?
Yes.
So less stress, you work better, you're more focused with more intensity and clearer thinking. I wrote down here, take time for yourself. It's only natural to feel more stressed now. The deals are harder to get done. They take longer to close. Deals that should stay together aren't. Deals that should stay together are. Go figure those out. So I get stressful because, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. The deal's staying together. So take time for yourself. I wrote down here, take time at least 4 times daily to take care of yourself. Write that down. Take time daily, 4 times a day. Sometimes we take care of ourselves in the morning, and sometimes